Greetings to all. Welcome to the channel Simtech05. This is the part 2 of the dynamic analysis playlist. In part 1, we learned about the type of loading, dynamic loading, static loading, what type of loading we can consider as a static load and which we have to consider as a dynamic load. Can we consider repeating load also as a static load or not? So those important points I explained. And we found repeating load, it's not always mean the dynamic load. We have to check the frequency of the load with respect to the frequency of the system. So in today's video, we'll talk about equilibrium condition. So this is the basic general governing equation. First term is representing the inertia effect, damping effect, stiffness effect, and that is the external force that applied on the system. But in the static problem, what will happen? This inertia and damping force is completely ignored. Only this term will remains. P is the external force and Q is the internal resistance force offered by the material. And based on that, whatever force we apply, whatever external force we apply, that will be resisted by the material at different location. Resistance will be different and different stress we will get. But the problem arises when this external force minus internal force not equal to 0. In all static cases, or we can say the problems where we have constrained boundary condition, fully constrained model, then probably this condition is satisfied. Of course, few conditions we have whether our model is fully constrained but still problem not converge. We will talk on that particular point in separate video. But here the important point is, if the model is not fully constrained, if all the degree of freedoms are not restricted in the model, then the object may have rigid body motion, and due to that no internal force offered by the body, offered by the system, only the external force remains, and this external force not balanced by any other force. I am repeating, this internal force becomes zero when body having rigid body motion and external force only remain in the system, and due to that this external force minus 0 equal to 0, it is not possible, and simply our system will not converge, our solution will not converge, and that give us error, unattempt error. That is the one of the reason. So how we can achieve this equilibrium and what are the unconstrained conditions? This is the example of unconstrained condition. The plate is constrained from both ends and this ball is dropped on the plate from some height h and due to some gravitational force. As the plate is falling due to gravity, we are not constrained this ball in any other direction. So this look like very easy problem, and yes, it is easy. It is easy once you consider the inertia effect. So what will happen? Even the internal force is 0 till the ball is in intermediate stage, it is not in contact with the plate. The internal force is, or we can say the force offered by the material is 0. External force will equal to, see, in dynamic condition this mx double dot mu double dot is not 0. Of course these two terms will be 0 in rigid body motion, but this will be not 0. So what will happen? Whatever external force we have, that will be compensated with inertia, and if it is the condition, our solution will be converse. So for the same, we will look at few example in the Abaqus software. Let me switch on the software. So here we have model 1, that is a disk model actually. Likewise, and we applied the gravity load for sake of checking the convergence, and what we did, we constrained the all degree of freedom in the initial step and modified the degree of freedom in the general static step, or we can say the first step, and that is nothing. We are applying the 10 radian rotation along the z axis. Now click on apply. So in this case the solution should be converse, and it will converse. Why? Because we can say our model is fully constrained. And let me show you. This is the interaction. Here I coupled this internal surface on this particular point. So this is my coupling condition, and this is my step, general static step for the 1 second. Now go to the again load and say I'm not going to constrain it fully. May we have unconstrained motion likewise. Go to OK, dismiss, and go to job, save the file and click on submit. Disk 20 model. What will happen? Our solution will not converge. Why it will not converge? Because as I told you, the model don't have inertia effect because it's a static step, and it is not even fully constrained. Why it is not fully constrained? This model is free in x direction, y direction and z direction, as well as it is free to rotate along y and z direction. So lots of degree of freedom we have, those are not constrained. That's why this particular error will be there. One attempt, second an attempt, third also an attempt, and so on. Solution is not converse, as I told you in PPT also. So go to the load, and what is the simplest solution for that? You have to restrict the all degree of freedom. So these all degree of freedom is 0, means this plate is not allowed to move in xyz direction and also not allowed to rotate along x and y direction, but it allowed to rotate along the z direction with some limited value, and that limited value is nothing but 10 radian per second. Click on OK, dismiss. Now go to the job and click on submit. So now you can see the solution is converging, and it will converge throughout the time period. Click on result, go to standard view and click on play. Okay, of course the stresses are very less in the system, in the plate, so we are not looking for the stresses, we will look for the displacement. Okay, and make sure you have recompute options. Click on OK and play the simulation. So we can see the plate is rotating about its axis. So in this way we can say whether our plate is stationary or moving condition. But if it is fully constrained, we can use the general static step. And in previous video I talked about the load. If your load is sufficient slow, then you can utilize such loading condition in the general static step. No need to go with the dynamic step. So the second model, let me move to the loading conditions and go to the model 2 free fall model that we discussed. Here this plate is constrained likewise from the both edges, and the gravity load applied on the complete assembly. So due to that gravity load, ball has to be fall on the plate. So let me check what step we have currently. Currently we have dynamic implicit. I want first general static step. I'm trying to solve the same problem using general static step. Sorry, nonlinear geometry on. Click on OK. Go to job, and let's say I'm going to abort this previous run. Okay, so free fall and general static state that I want to run. These are the previously run model, but we are running the same. So free fall, and we are trying to solve this free fall problem using general static state. Let's monitor, and very simply the solution is aborted. As I told you, unconstrained motion can't be solved using general static state. So you may think, go to the load, you may think, let me apply the boundary conditions and restrict the all degree of freedom of this ball. Only the z direction I am going to keep free. Now click on OK. Yes, that's fine. Now go to the job and try to submit it. And let's see what will happen. So again, you can see the same error we got. So as I told you, go to the load and see. You cannot make any degree of freedom completely free. You can apply some, you can define some value like this u3 is restricted, and then I can modify and define some value in the u3. Okay, means in the z direction I can define some displacement. That is possible, but if you completely make this free, then again the unconstrained boundary condition problem is there, and your problem will not converge using general static state. As I told you in the slides, this solution become rigid body motion. Only actional force are there, and no other parameters are there to compensate that actional force. So what we can do in such situations, we have to apply implicit dynamic or explicit dynamic technique. So continue time period 1, again non-linearity on. For safe side, 1000 increment I am taking 0.01, specify maximum also I am limiting. Fine. And now try to solve the problem using implicit dynamic technique. So let me monitor. So implicit dynamic start solving the problem. Of course, some unattempt we will get, and I will let you know why we are getting unattempt. Because in short amount of time, it just stack the plate and then plate bounce it back in the upward direction, gravity working in the downward direction. So it's a little complex contact condition problem because it's come in contact again and again. So likewise. That's why software taking the small increment size. So that is the main target actually. Our solution should be start converging. So I hope you are now very well aware to the convergence criteria of the static and dynamic condition. You know very well the rigid body motion if we have, or we can say unconstrained motion if we have, we cannot use general static state, we have to utilize the dynamic state. And one more important point we found, moving object problem we can solve in general static state also, but the movement, the motion should be fully constrained. If it is unconstrained, then we cannot solve. Or in some simple word, we can say if inertia is dominant within the system, we cannot solve. such system using general static state. Okay, so let me switch on the PPT. So that's fine. And here, as I told you, with example like this type of static equilibrium condition, we can very easily solve in the general static state. But look at that problem. Here, this mass is generating inertia effect, and this cannot be solved using general static state. You have to utilize what? Implicit dynamic or explicit dynamic technique. So in general static state, basically we cannot utilize the initial velocity. Initial velocity is not applicable. Even if you try to apply it in initial step, it will not propagate in the second step, or we can say general static step. Similarly, acceleration is not applicable, as I told you, because acceleration generate inertia effect, so it is not applicable. Free fall is not allowed. Free fall due to gravity just be seen, and unconstrained motions are not allowed in the general static state. Unconstrained motion just be seen, like we have this ball problem and I want to push this ball with the displacement of 10, but we can't do that. Why? Because we not applied or we not restricted the other boundary conditions. If we restricted the other boundary conditions, then we can apply the initial displacement as 10 and we can achieve the solution, achieve the convergence. So the conclusion, here we have few questions. So before looking at the answer, please pause the video and try to answer it, then proceed further. So can I solve variable load problem using static step? Can I? Of course we can. So in part first, we discuss it very briefly. Can we solve moving object problem using general static step? Generally, people think like general static step means completely static problem. No, that's not mean the completely static. The constraint boundary problem, like the object is moving within the constrained boundary conditions, we can solve such problems. Just we seen the rotating disk problem. Another important question, can we solve any static problem using dynamic step? So this is very good question actually, and very briefly I explain in my implicit explicit video. Of course we can solve any static problem using dynamic step. But can we solve any dynamic problem using static step? So ideally it is not possible, because dynamic, when we consider dynamic, when inertia is dominant, and if inertia is dominant, then we cannot solve. Okay, but somewhat we can approximate if inertia is not that much significant. And the last question, how to choose the step for the particular problem? Like I have one problem, we have to decide which step is best suitable, that give you answer within limited time period and with limited system configuration. So first you have to check the inertia effect, whether it is dominant or not. If it is dominant, go to the dynamic. If it is not dominant, go to the static. Then you have to check load conditions, whether any velocity, initial velocity is there in the system or not. If it is not, you can easily use the general static step. The strain rate. Why strain rate mentioned here? Because sometimes high strain rate problems we cannot solve in the general static step and even the implicit dynamic step. We have to utilize only the explicit dynamic in such cases. And the last is material. Material is quite complex thing, because the first and most important point here, many of the material that we want to use are not compatible with different techniques. Like Johnson-Cook material model is compatible only with the explicit technique. It is neither compatible with the implicit technique nor compatible with the general static step. So similarly, many material model you found in the in explicit step, those are not available in the implicit and general static step. So based on that also you have to choose the step. So I hope you are clear about those points, and let me show you few example. So of course this car crash analysis, even blind can say, yeah, of course the car crash analysis is dynamic analysis. But what about that? Is it dynamic analysis or static analysis? So you have to pause the video and you have to answer it. Or you can answer in the comment section. I will let you know there. What about that? See, the previous problem also crushing type of problem, and this is also crushing type of problem. So this bottle is going to be crushed using hammer. Again, you have to answer in the comment section. I will let you know. This is very interesting example. Building is oscillating due to seismic load, and very easily we can predict it should be solved using dynamic step. But which dynamic? Implicit dynamic or explicit dynamic? There we have a big question. We have to utilize implicit dynamic or explicit dynamic. In such cases, mostly we use the implicit dynamic. But again, why we have to use implicit dynamic instead of explicit dynamic? For that, you can go with my implicit and explicit video. And further questions you can put on the comment section. I will let you know. So thank you all. Thank you for listening. That's all for this video tutorial. In next video tutorial, we will talk about some basic amplitudes, like how we have to apply the periodic amplitude and smooth step amplitude and other amplitude. So periodic amplitude is little bit difficult to apply, little bit difficult. Once you understand the concept, everything will be clear. So in this video, that's all. I welcome you all to join my Facebook and Telegram group. The link is available in the description. Our Facebook community already reaches 5,000 members. That is great news. I will be happy if you join the Telegram group also, because many time it happen. I cannot access the Facebook very frequently, but I can access the Telegram frequently. So thank you again.